back to the Y Stick Podcast, everyone. Here I have a colleague of mine, Luke Plaisted, and today we're talking about Avengers Endgame, which came out about a month ago, close to. And just a disclaimer, there will be spoilers, so haven't seen it yet, go see it and listen to this.
Though?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Go out there.
So what are our initial thoughts on Endgame?
It blew my mind.
I know, it's...
I saw it on Thursday the 25th, and then again on the 26th, and then again the next Sunday. Wait, maybe it was the same... Yeah, I saw it 3 times in one
Same
weekend.
here. I just saw it last night. It is rewatchable to great extent.
Yeah, I think that it's like the most amazing conclusion to anything that I've ever seen. Like
it brings not all the movies, but to an extent, almost every important movie that... Because we go back to Guardians of the Galaxy, we go back to Thor: The Dark World, and we go back to the Avengers, and even the S.H.I.E.L.D. base in 1970, which we've never gotten a glimpse of.
Yeah, I was gonna say every important movie, minus the Incredible Hulk, but like even Thunderbolt Ross was there, and so
right.
Yeah, I would agree. Every one of them, I think it's.
And even it brings in. I mean, I haven't read most of the comics, but I do know some about the comics.
I have.
Yes, and a lot of interesting allusions to the comics, like Rescue, Pepper Potts' alternate ego, we can call it that.
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, as Guardians of the Galaxy. We get a glimpse of Hank Pym in 1970. We even see the old antique Ant-Man helmet, which is quite a thing to include. Yeah, tribute. And even like now in the digital age, they've de-aged Michael Douglas. Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that the best part about it is the fact that it's a completely original story, while still paying complete and total respect to the movies that it came from, and to the comics that those characters came from, but like while still completely doing its own thing in a beautiful way. It's my favorite one.
It has to top. It tops all the movies.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. I still love Civil War with a burning passion, but...
Oh yeah, Civil War is phenomenal. Captain America is one of my favorite characters.
I think that my only complaint with the movie is the way that it doesn't like totally address the conflict between Steve and Tony. It just like Tony has this outburst right at the beginning, and then it just kind of goes away, and you're supposed to believe that in the 5 years they were able to somewhat
sort it out, yeah.
But I guess the handshake of "Do you trust me?" was good. I don't know. I wish that there was a bigger thing because it was built up so much. But they still did a good job with it.
Yeah, that was kind of Civil War is another great one, but again they didn't fail to address it, but they addressed it in a minor way.
I think that there were 2 moments in the whole movie that like really blew my mind. Like the first time when they go back in time and it says New York 2012.
Oh yeah,
and
that was
like every nerd atom in my body just melted.
Yeah.
And then the part where T'Challa walks through the portal.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. Where you just see Doctor Strange opening up the portal for everyone. That was just
on your left.
One of the best scenes.
He calls back Mjolnir.
Oh
Assemble. So good.
Cap calling back Mjolnir is probably one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love it. And that song, that was someone Zimmerman, Alan.
Hans Zimmer or
no. Alan. Oh no, it's Alan Silvestri. I think is his name.
Oh yeah, he's the composer. Yeah.
Alan Silvestri. That man deserves a Nobel Prize. He's amazing.
If none of you know, I mean, Alan Silvestri is phenomenal, but he's done major film scores. I think he did a bit of Infinity War, and he also did the main theme for Back to the Future. So
I did not know that. He did all of Endgame, and the song when Caps yells "Avengers Assemble," and you have the big moment is portals, and that song is just
it hits you right in the heart.
It's amazing.
I know. And even not many of the actors knew the full plot. As we know, Tom Holland, notorious for spoiling everything.
Did you hear he thought it was a wedding?
I think everyone was told it was a wedding scene for Stark's funeral. Yeah, everyone was told up until the day of shooting, which is... Yeah. They keep everything so quiet. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why everyone looked so somber and sad and was okay with showing up in completely black outfits if they thought it was a wedding. Whatever, man. That's
No, I'm sure they knew on the day, but still, yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah, can't have the spoiler men out there ruining everything.
No.
I think it'll be interesting to see how Far From Home moves on.
Yeah.
The move on, as Cap would say, but like I think that'll be interesting because of the fact that like this is the first one where you don't have the
Tony Stark.
the suit of armor around the world, where you don't have
Right.
the heart of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw the trailer, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That I love it. I love it. They're like, oh, it's over. Time for the next thing. Multiverse. Here you go. We're throwing that in. I think they'll be able to do it, but I think that Tom Holland has a massive load on his shoulders. That he has to carry.
Definitely.
I wish him the best of luck.
And I mean, even though we have not seen a trailer, I mean, it's barely in development. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but that's.
They rehired James Gunn.
I know, that's phenomenal.
Thank God.
I know, he's the savior of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Do you think Thor will remain fat?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I think he's gonna be in that movie.
Yeah, he is. He will be. I mean, I have no proof, but that's my guess since he joined up with
He left
Quill.
on the Milan or
The
Milano. The Benatar.
The Minotaur.
Benatar, yeah.
Benatar, that's
Milano
right.
was the old one.
Milano's the old one.
I think that he's gonna remain fat, but the directors said I wasn't as big of a fan of Fat Thor as everyone else is. Everyone loved it, and I was just like, that's really weird to look at.
I know, it is a bit of a strange thing, but it is kind of shows you the character development in just 5 years.
He finally broke.
Yeah.
He lost everything.
And now he's just playing Fortnite with Korg and Meek in his base, in his
69.
shed. Yeah, New Master 69.
I think that the directors did a good job with explaining that choice because they said like that it would have been really easy for when the lightning to strike him, he goes back to his like old physique and everything, all his problems go away. But the point was that the problem wasn't his weight. The problem was his brokenness, the fact that he lost and his mental problems, and he was able to get over that, and so then he was back to full strength, even though he was.
Yeah,
Thor
has lost, maybe not the most, but quite a lot. He's lost his father,
I would
his
argue
mother,
the most, yeah.
his brother. He's lost his home.
His hammer.
Yeah, he
half
lost
his
me all
people.
here. Yeah, half his people.
And then he lost the fight of his life.
Yeah.
It's tragic. I think that's kind of beautiful and kind of cool for people like to see that like the weight isn't the problem, where you are in life was his problem. I like that. Although it scares me because if you think about the real life implications of him playing Fortnite, means that in 5 years Fortnite is still relevant.
Oh my god.
To the point where superheroes are playing it.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
a bit fair.
terrifies me to my core.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on
I
it.
can't have another generation of kids.
No, you can't.
I tried to play that last night. Oh, that's not important though.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna give it a review.
Yeah, well, let's talk more about it because
I think that. Oh, so I've seen every single MCU movie, with the exception of the Incredible Hulk, multiple times. I've seen the Incredible Hulk, but not more than once.
Right.
I have no reason. I
no
do
reason
not
to,
like that movie at all.
I've seen everyone once. I've seen a few times. Like Guardians, I've probably seen once or twice. Infinity War, that's three times I think.
I saw it 9 times.
Oh my god, nice.
I saw it 4 times in
Endgame,
theater.
thrice. Guardians 2, I've only seen each one once.
Well, yeah.
Except with the exception of Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and Thor. And repeating them all next because I'm trying to get my parents into it. But
I think the only reason I say that is because at some point you gather a feel for like who's making the movie and the differences, and the Russo brothers have a very
unique touch.
Yeah, they have a distinct way that the movie is shot, like the cinematography goes, and it makes it feel so much more like a comic. And they give you the close-up faces, the splash page images, the cool sticking moments of the fights, like when Cap first picks up the shield and he's like and then he goes up and it sticks for a second and it feels more like a book, and I really appreciate that. So I think from a cinematography standpoint, they're just so talented and it really shows.
Yeah, Winter Soldier was actually the first Marvel movie I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. It was my friend's birthday. Brought me out to see it. I didn't really like it. I never got into it. They're like, oh, go watch First Avenger. And I was like, nah. But then now, 4 years later, well, now 5 now, but 4 years, it was Infinity War. It's much bigger than I originally thought. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is not what I originally thought.
I actually hated Winter Soldier when I first saw it because I think I was 11 when it came, maybe 12, and I just didn't get it. But now, to this day, it's one of my favorite ones because I think
yeah, and even in Endgame, Cap wearing his Winter Soldier uniform. Oh,
so nice.
I know.
They teased me. They gave me the tease. One of my favorite scenes, probably my favorite Captain America fight besides when he fights Iron Man, is that elevator scene in Winter Soldier. And he gets in that elevator with all those people, and the first time I saw it, I'm not even kidding, I put my hands on the railing, on the seat railings, and just like lifted myself, and I was like, oh yes. And then he did the Secret Empire nod, and he was like, Hail Hydra. And I just, funniest thing I've ever seen. I love that they did that because they know. The Russo brothers know what we want to see, and they gave it to us. And I think that's the best part of the movie, that they were like, it's
not a full commitment to the fans, but they know the important things we want.
It's like this movie. We made 23 of them. You can have this one. This one can be.
Yeah, everything. Our special treasure.
Yeah, we'll throw up everything.
And even they show the Hail Hydra. That was most important because Cap knows that they're the Hydra agents.
Yeah. When you replay a difficult level and already know how to beat it.
That's one of the funniest tropes.
And Tilda Swinton coming back. I'm a huge fan of that.
Ancient One.
Except phenomenal. Mark Ruffalo decided to ruin that moment 6 months ago, and he said, working with Tilda Swinton was really cool. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Bruce. Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
I love all those callbacks, and one of the other things I really like about it, along the same vein of the fact that the Russos know what the fans want to see, is that they killed Thanos twice. They know.
Yeah, they did.
My mom has seen Infinity War once, and she refuses to watch it again because she hates it so much. She hates the ending, and she hates Thanos. And they cut his head off and then gave him the most poetic justice of all, of having him dust away too. That's so funny that they know that everyone hates him so much that they just want him to die twice. They would be completely okay with him dying twice.
And Thor says, I went for the head.
Went for the head.
I know. Yeah.
What did you do?
And then when I saw it last night, it was so funny because it was in the theater. Right as they slice it off, some guy yelled like he's so surprised.
Yeah.
It's a
genuine, jarring moment.
I know it is. It's so.
When I was watching, do you go?
Yeah. First you get his gauntlets off, flip it over, stones are gone, and then they just cut off his head.
Mm-hmm. They're completely down and out. They've lost. I love that they did that.
I know.
And the other thing about going for the head, I noticed this on my second watch through, that if you watch, and if you're gonna go see it again, if you're listening to this, watch Thor in the last battle, against Thanos, when he's like, oh, go kill him properly this time. Watch him. On every single strike that he does,
on the head.
It's for the head. He doesn't aim anywhere else. It's all straight for the head.
That's attention to detail.
I love that.
Yeah.
What was I going to say about Thanos? The other thing. Oh yeah, I'm also sad because Thanos is one of my favorite comic book villains, and one of the cool arcs that they do in some other comics is they have him come back and help the heroes.
Oh really? That's cool.
Or he's like this being that everyone knows about that just sits on his own planet and is just ridiculously powerful but doesn't do anything. Annihilation is a really good book where he comes back and he does another thing but without the stones, and I'm just sad that he won't be able to have another role, that he won't be anything more because he's dead. But also I don't think
unfortunately certain characters won't be brought back, Vision, Loki,
Gamora.
Yeah, Gamora. We only got 2014 Gamora. Heimdall, that's what I was going to say. I forgot his name. But I believe on the new Disney Plus app or whatever they're doing, Loki's going to get his own series, and Vision and Scarlet Witch.
WandaVision.
That's what
it's called, yeah.
I don't want to
pay for that, but I'm going to.
Yeah, nobody wants to, but you're going to anyways.
But really, too. Damn them.
Yeah.
And I also like the fact that they gave Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, and Vision like solid send offs. Like
Yeah.
at the end when
For sure.
when Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch were mourning, and she said to Hawkeye, Ronan, whatever, she was like, they know, like, or she knows, they both.
Oh yeah, that
like,
was
coming to
when
terms
Scarlet
with
Witch
their
was
loss.
talking to Clint. I was like, yeah, she knows. That was hits the spot.
Beautiful stuff, because they had that bond in Age of Ultron and.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Full circle stuff, man. Like they did such a good job with the full circle, which would lead me to. Okay, I lied. I said earlier that I have that the favorite scene was the Avengers Assemble, which it probably is. But my absolute favorite thing about the entire MCU is Captain America at the end, when he's old and he says that he went back and spent his life with Peggy. And they do the dance. He gets his dance.
Yeah, he gets his dance.
It's
hits the spot because it's like because when he's old, I'm like I know him when I saw it for the first time and I see him old. I'm like he had to go back for Peggy. You saw him looking in 1970 at her.
Yeah.
He even in First Avenger, it's been not teased, but he didn't get it because he was in the ice and
It was. Like, I knew it when he looked at Bucky and he was like, don't do anything stupid while I'm gone. Like, I knew it. I was like, oh, he's going back in time. He's not coming back. Like, he's going to stay. And it ends with the shot of
1950 or whatever.
Just happy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yes, you earned it, man. Like, yes.
Yeah. And then even the passing the torch of the shield to Sam Wilson, which is great. I think that's even a nod to the comics. I don't know what the name of the character, but I know.
Captain America. It happens in the comics.
Where he passes the shield to it.
It's a Falcon,
Yeah.
And I think in the new Avengers, Sam Wilson is Captain America because Steve Rogers gets either discharged or gives up on it. He doesn't like it. But whatever. I like that too.
And I don't know if it's a nod to the comics, but I was a bit... I don't know if it sounded like it was a nod to the comics in 1970 when we see Hank Pym going to pick up some package. I don't know if you would know what that is, but that... It'd be something interesting to touch on.
I have no idea, but it's possible. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with the Ant-Man comics because they're sort of campy and weird and haven't been written in a good way in a long time. There's been like one solid Ant-Man story in the last what is it? It's one where he spends a lot of time with Cassie, but whatever. And it's not even. I don't even think it's Hank Pym. Don't quote me on that. Not an Ant-Man fan, but you very well could be right. They do so many of those little things.
I know. What else was in... Oh, yeah, Cap Wheel. Well, Cap wielding Mjolnir wasn't really a nod to the comics, but it was kind of Cap... What was it? Was he addressing that Bucky was alive when he told his past self that Bucky was alive? Yeah. And then he finally was... Because in Ultron, Cap nearly lifts Mjolnir, and then we see Thor look at it like there's something between them that needs to happen. And I think it's when Cap tells Bucky that he's finally worthy of wielding the hammer.
So the directors did a thing that I don't like. They did a, in my opinion, a bad thing afterwards. They retconned it and they were like, oh, he could always lift it. He just didn't want to hurt Thor's ego. And
No, that doesn't...
That's lame.
Yeah, that's lame.
Because in the comics, Mjolnir judges worthiness based on your capabilities as a warrior and as a person, and like your merit as a man and as a warrior. And I think that Captain America, Steve Rogers, is arguably one of the purest human beings alive.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he was able to nudge it. But then at the same time, I think that one problem that Mjolnir would have with Cap is that he doesn't kill people.
Yes.
And I think in that moment when he was fighting Thanos,
he was like ready to kill someone. He was so angry that he just had
to kill.
Yeah.
I think that's possible, but I don't have to take the Russo brothers' word on everything. That's my own explanation. I'm sticking to that one because I think that's cooler.
Right.
Yeah.
And even the actor's commitment is phenomenal because in October, after Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp had come out last October, I had seen Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, and Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Scarlet Witch. They did a talk at a Ace Comic-Con, I believe. They did a panel there, and they're kind of talking. They didn't spoil anything, but they kind of talked about Infinity War. And what's interesting is, some of you may not know, but Thor is a myth, not created by Marvel. It's a Norse myth. And Loki did some research on his own character and his connection to mythology, the god of mischief. So that was when he prepared for his very first role in Thor. So they're all very committed. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, they read they regularly post pictures on Instagram, like right when they're starting the roles. Like Benedict Cumberbatch did it for Doctor Strange, Brie Larson did it for Captain Marvel, of them like reading the comic books.
Oh yeah,
I like that. I think that's a separation between DC and Marvel. I think the Marvel actors really care.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That never mind. That's completely off topic. But I do have one interesting thought, and that I think is cool to explore. Is what was Cap's journey like back through time when he had to replace those stones? Like he had to go to Vormir and be like, "Hi, Red Skull. Here's your stone."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Yeah.
But the Ancient One says we have to, so...
Yeah, but I think that would be I would love to see... They used to do these things in Phase 1 called Marvel One-Shots, where they would do... Or
I've seen one of those, but yeah.
Where it's like 5-10 minutes of like exploring one little moment off the screen. I would kill for a one-shot of Cap visiting
that would be...
And interacting with the Red Skull.
Just one for each of the stones.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think like you said, the Soul Stone would be the most interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because how is he supposed to interact with his sworn enemy? Like, how much time do you think Red Skull's been sitting out there cursing out Captain America's name? Yeah. Like, oh, you're the reason I'm here. Like, I could have ruled the world, and then I guide others to a treasure I cannot possess. But yeah, I think that would be funny. I don't think it'll happen.
But it'd be an interesting concept to see.
A boy can dream.
Yeah.
I can hope in my heart that it'll happen. We can go back to the comic book nods, because the Cap wielding Mjolnir is a comic book nod.
Yes.
He does it in the comic books, and he screams out "Avengers Assemble" as he lifts it, and they even do that same shot where he's got it over his head, and like, you know, the lightning. And I also like that they gave Rocket like a comic accurate suit, because that's just beautiful.
Oh, is that what he wears in the comics, the little blue suit?
Yeah, with the red accents and the scarf. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy. I'm so happy and glad that the directors know what's cool and what's... Oh, and Professor Hulk.
Oh, that was... I mean, I don't read the comics, but that was a great inclusion.
What a moment.
Definitely.
Hulk out.
That was a great scene.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo is a priceless gem.
Oh, yeah,
he's wonderful.
He's a very talented actor.
I see this as an absolute win. Time travel! No, what a guy. And then having him do it...
So Back to the Future was a lie?
Oh, God. Yeah. Scott. What was it? There was one other thing I wanted to say that I had in my mind. See, there's so much to talk about in 3 hours. Oh, I remember now. There's too much to talk about in a 3-hour movie that like is so good if you take apart all these little moments. But the two that really hit me at home, that I didn't cry the first time I saw it, because I cried when Stark died the first time.
Yeah, everyone does.
But I didn't cry when I saw Peter and Stark reunite, because I didn't realize what was about to happen. But when the second time that I saw it, and Tony just gives Peter a hug, which he's never done before, and he's just like, because he did it for him, and he's like, embraces him, and you're just like, oh, yes, and then Rocket, when Groot's in trouble, throwing himself on top of Groot, like the father-son things, it's really beautiful stuff.
Because even in Spider-Man Homecoming, I believe, Stark and Peter Parker were in the car together, and he was leaning over. He's like, "Oh, we're doing a hug now. Not there yet." But,
it's not a hug. I'm just getting the door for you.
Yeah, but now in Endgame, they've reached that point.
Yeah,
it's the
such a father-son thing.
Ultimate conclusion of all 22 movies.
That's the other thing that Marvel does so well. They give moments. The battles are extravagant and beautiful, but the character moments, so it make them better. Like the moment where Cap's holding Stormbreaker and Thor's got Mjolnir, and he's like, nope, you take the
trade
little
off,
one. Or like Spider-Man, like a throwaway line going, activate instant kill.
And then from when he said in Homecoming, he's like, no, I don't want that. Yeah. I don't want instant kill.
Just in moments.
Yeah,
and
little
Rescue
moments.
and Iron Man, like, you know, teaming together, having each other's backs, fighting them off. Oh, I think the most spectacularly beautiful thing in the whole battle is when Scott Lang, as Giant Man, punches the Leviathan out of the sky.
Oh yeah, that's great, phenomenal.
Oh God. And
yeah,
I think Marvel is a group of magicians because they've been able to, they've made me okay with watching Spider-Man carry an Infinity Gauntlet made by Iron Man, full of the Infinity Stones, while he's holding on to Mjolnir,
yeah,
being pulled through a battlefield, get dropped on a Pegasus, and Mjolnir was thrown by Captain America, and get dropped on a Pegasus and deliver it to Captain Marvel. That is absurd. That is not a normal thing that should happen on screen, and I was perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
Good job, man. Like,
yeah,
good on you.
Although they may not be them, I mean, I don't want to say they're not Oscar winning, but although the Academy may not give them their recognition, they ultimately deserve it.
I think that I can't believe Robert Downey Jr. hasn't won an Oscar.
I know, that's very strange to me.
Mm-hmm. His performance in this one was.
Yeah, they're award winning. They are phenomenal performances, whether you think they should win an Oscar or not.
I think that's going to be a controversial subject because of the fact that the movies have been so poorly recognized.
Right.
I think that in 2017, Logan was a masterpiece. I think that Wonder Woman was really good, and Winter Soldier was fantastic in 2014. And there's just all these wonderful superhero movies that are being made without recognition, by the Academy, up to Black Panther, and Dark Knight got a couple, but
yeah.
Still, I think
Dark Knight. I mean, that was only that was kind of a standalone trilogy.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the new DC comics, or you've got who's it? No, not Christian Bale. Ben Affleck.
Dark Knight. They now just Ben Affleck just quit. You know that?
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that.
It's now Robert Pattinson.
Oh no.
Do you know who he was in Twilight?
Yeah.
Ugh. Yuck.
Yeah, DC. I mean, I don't want to say they're terrible, but Marvel's better.
They got to get their stuff together. Oh, I think Aquaman and Shazam were pretty good. I liked Shazam. Well, back to the subject of Endgame. It's so easy to go off on tangents because there's so much cool stuff to see.
Oh, definitely.
I think, in my opinion, it's a 9.5 out of 10 movie because if I say 10 out of 10, I'll get panned for being a big fanboy. But I think it's anywhere between 9.5 and 10 out of 10.
Yeah, anywhere between there.
I don't think they could have done better.
No.
It's wonderful. It looks great. The sound is the music is amazing. The dialogue is near perfect, and it's just it makes me happy that I spent so much time
waiting
with these characters. And
well worth the wait.
Yeah, because they could have.
It's not a rushed movie, which is perfectly fine. They spent their time on it.
3 hours, yeah. I mean, it can't take much more time than that. I feel appreciated by the studio. I feel like they really care that movie was good, and they knew how important it was, and they executed.
Perfectly executed.
Yeah.
Perfect send-off for Tony Stark, Captain America, and
Black Widow.
Yeah.
Sacrificing herself. Can't do much more good than that, and get something that'll save the whole universe.
Yeah.
Oh, there are some funny things to think about here, such as when the snap gets first, people seem to come back to the exact spot that they died in. So what happens if you're in an airplane when the snap happens? You get reinstated into the universe 30,000 feet in the air, and you just
yeah. Or 5 years is a big jump. But even the cameo of Joe Russo, I want to say, in on the little. What do you call it? A little table session, whatever, counseling therapy circle that you have with Cap, Joe Russo, and even the original
creator of Thanos.
Yeah, I was gonna say creator of Thanos. Yeah, that was great. On that note, that's been our review of Avengers Endgame. So thank you all for joining us today.
Thanks for
go watch the movie.